Toxins that get flushed up to the surface. Chlorella is a detoxification food, essentially. A little different than spirulina, right? Is anyone wondering what's the difference between spirulina and chlorella? Is that on somebody's mind? Okay, I could feel it. Yeah. So spirulina is basically more protein. It's proteinaceous. It's highly proteinaceous, meaning, in fact, actually, the funny joke of it all, the cosmic giggle of the whole protein conversation that won't die, it just won't go away, is that spirulina is the most proteinaceous or protein-rich food in the world. Like, I need to just say this. Meat is not a good source of protein, despite what we have been told. Surprise, surprise. Because when you look at protein, there's different kinds of proteins. Some proteins are actually not very good or digestible by the human body. And if they get stored up in abundance, they create kidney backing up of the kidney, like kidney disease. Or they set up an acidosis situation in your blood chemistry. They cause a hardening, right? Those are called nitrogenous or nitrogen-based proteins. Where do all those come from? Can anybody take a guess? We're just taking a guess. If nitrogen-based proteins are the proteins that we don't necessarily want, and when they stack up inside of us, they create an environment that fosters degeneration, where do you think those might be coming from? Flesh. Right. Yeah, specifically terrestrial flesh. Hybridized, domesticated animals that have been bred for one sole purpose, right? And I'm not here to say that you have to be a vegetarian or a vegan. What I am here to say is that ignorance does have consequences. And when it comes to animal products, and I do want to talk about that because it's not black or white. There is a middle path to that. It's more like a condiment. If somebody is going to consume animal products or flesh products, that kind of thing, fish, meat, whatever it is, eggs, it actually should be a condiment and not a main course. That's kind of where I've come to, right? I don't like telling people like, no, you can't do this, because that's diet consciousness, right? No, take this away. It doesn't work, right? But what does work is subtraction by addition. Subtraction by addition. Adding something good in will naturally displace what no longer needs to be there, right? Instead of trying to force ourselves, beat ourselves up, guilt, fear, shame, agonizing over the tough choices in life. Do I eat this or do I eat this? I mean, the extremes of consciousness are fully present in the nutrition world. It's amazing, right? Like, okay, well, what we really need to actually prevent ourselves from experiencing is like heightened states of neurosis. That's the number one thing. What is going to age you the quickest? Living up here too much. And like abacus, weighing things out mathematically, trying to figure out everything. Like, okay, I need 432 milligrams of ascorbic acid. And I'm going to pretend that that's the same thing as vitamin C. Even though it's not. And has nothing to do with vitamin C. But my doctor told me to take vitamin C. But it's in the form of ascorbic acid, which actually can cause skeletal calcification. Just saying. Just saying. Where does vitamin C come from? Does anyone know, like, the highest sources of vitamin C? Well, actually, it's not camu camu. Camu camu is the second highest vitamin C source. There's another one called cockadoo berry. But nobody knows about it, so who cares, right? So then we just go to camu camu berry, which is extremely high in vitamin C. And then you have amla berry, you have acerola cherry, you have rose hips, you have oranges, you have lemons, limes, citrus fruits, right? You have interesting supplements called MSM, methyl sulfonyl methane, MSM. Does anyone here not know what MSM is? Okay. MSM, basically it synergizes with vitamin C. If you want to potentiate vitamin C, and you probably do because vitamin C is one of the most critical vitamins that's ever been discovered. It's highly antiviral, which if you look at any kind of degenerative condition, you look at any form of cancer, it doesn't matter what you call it. It doesn't matter if it's a leukemia, which is more of a blood disease than just like a typical cancer. You look at tumor growth, you look at any kind of cancer, whatever we call it, there are a few universal derivations. There is an infection. Every form of disease, by the way, dis-ease, is rooted in an infection. Right? We think of infections as like, oh, I got a cut, I don't want to get an infection. Make no mistake, like degenerative conditions are an infection. Bacterial, viral, fungal, parasitic infection, right? Now there's all kinds of different kinds of organisms, which is kind of beyond the scope of what I want to talk about. But in reference to the big C word, it's either a viral infection, a fungal infection, a combination of viral fungal infections, and or it's hormonally driven.